So, everyone, we have a very special guest with us today, and it's none other than a Jamaican lacrosse player, Samuel Henry. Firstly, Sammy, how are you? How's the family doing?
I'm doing really great. I just came from school because I was on campus and my dad picked me up. The family is doing pretty great. Mother's Day just passed and my
Mm.
mom's birthday was the day before Mother's Day, so it's like a double whammy and everything. Not too bad.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Sammy, let's start where it all began for you. Because, I mean, when you were born in Jamaica, the sport of lacrosse wasn't there. So, growing up, were you an athletic person? Were you somebody that played other sports growing up?
Definitely actually. When did I start playing? I always would, play football. Because my dad was a football player. Same thing with my brother, my uncle. So I would always be like, interested in other sports, track and field. Everybody would be interested in those because those are the main sport powerhouses on the island. Um, for me though, I played soccer or football, more competitively. So I started playing that in the ninth grade. I started playing football competitively and lacrosse at the same time. So like both of them like went hand in hand, especially like as it relates to like fitness and stuff. So like I was always a good football player. Obviously not good enough to be on the KC Manning Cup team because that's KC and everything. But I would play for like my community, play for my church, stuff like that. So yeah, I think those were the two other main sports that I played, and I always was, having an interest in like rugby, to that sport.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
when did you like know about the game of lacrosse? Did somebody tell you about it? Did you research it online when you heard it was in Jamaica? How did that come about, lacrosse and your journey?
It's kind of funny how I actually started playing lacrosse, man. Cause like, I mean, I saw it at the school before, cause KC and Georges were the first two teams to actually start playing. But I would normally see like some one and two persons walking around the stick and everything. But when I officially started playing lacrosse, um, it's like the lacrosse, like population was kind of dwindling down at the time. So Kevin Dugan and some other American volunteers, they came down and they tried to host like a seminar at a couple different schools. At the time, I think it was four different schools: Casey, Georges, Wilmers, and Holy Trinity. So they had like a devotion, and they came and they were like reintroducing lacrosse to us, and like my friends and I would always like sit down together. That's in the ninth grade. That's around like 2015, like 2015, 2016. Um, so they were reintroducing lacrosse to us and everything, and they were like, trying to get everybody to um like want to join. And then my friends and I were like, I was like one of the more influential persons. I looked at them and I'm like, mm? And they were like, all right. And then that's how we all started. It was like out of my whole friend group, it was like 10 of us, and we walking around with the sticks every day. We'll be, playing during school time, being delinquents and stuff as usual. The grades were always still there, but we're always messing around. We were always like practicing on any surface we can find. And then eventually it ended up, dying down to just me. I became the captain after a while, and then there was like one person out of the whole group left, and then there were none. And then eventually, I like reached out to like one or two of them, and then like made them come back, gave them equipment and everything. Cause there's a couple guys that like um they would have an interest in playing, or I would see like potential in them, and then because they didn't have like any equipment, I would just like give them a helmet, fix up a stick for them and everything, give them a pair of gloves, even as far as cleats, all that type of stuff. So yeah, that's how my lacrosse career got started.
Yeah, quite a journey, Sammy. In terms of, like where you played on the field, were you always in one position or you played different areas when you're at KC, different positions on the field of play?
Good question. So like I started out playing as a midfielder. Was a midfielder? No, I started out playing as a attacker. That's like a forward. And then no, I'm lying. I started out as a midfielder. And then Coach Sabrati, he converted me into a attacker because he was saying that fits my skill set more right now. especially because we had a lot of other persons on the team. And I was really good at scoring goals, obviously. So like he converted me into an attacker, and then like was it my last year? My last year playing, which was 2020. That was the COVID year. He that's when the Jamaican Lacrosse Association implemented 10v10, as in 10 persons on the field, as opposed to the previous setting, which was 7 versus 7. So that's when they implemented the 10 versus 10. So therefore, that's when I also got named the captain of the team, because I was vice captain before that, and coach knew that like he would need me to like lead the team on both sides of the field, in every way that I can. So he put me back in the midfield. So I was like the one like literally controlling the whole flow of the game. And then since then I've just been stuck in midfield. I do prefer midfield anyway, because I don't like feeling like I cannot influence the game. And from attack or from playing a forward, like you cannot really influence the whole flow of the game as much. Because midfielders are the ones that power the team. You're heavily involved in the attacking play of the team as well as the defensive play. So that's why I prefer to play midfield, and that's where I am today.
Quite a journey it has been, Sammy, for sure. As you know, 2020 came around, COVID came. That was, in a sense, supposed to be the year where we had the World Championship, Youth World Championship for men, but
Yeah,
COVID came in the picture. Would you say that 2 year spell gave you more time to prepare and the team as a whole?
I would say definitely, because like it's like seeing a difference in my play, like playing style or playing skills, as opposed to where it was in 2020. Like I can say that I'm definitely grateful for the time that COVID has put, as in the break that COVID gave us to actually like improve on our skills and stuff. Because, for example, like you go to the World Championships, under 21 World Championships was in Ireland, played against the likes of Ireland, Germany, um,
Latvia, Czech,
Latvia, I
Czech
think
Republic,
Switzerland, Czech Republic,
Israel,
Israel. Yeah, we
England.
played against those. England is like the number of, like 4 or 5 ranked in the world. So to play against those teams, you have to be like developed, enough technical abilities and skills. So I feel like getting those extra 2 years really made a difference, especially because I had I had already started playing at Weber, which is where I go to college. So like having such a great coach there, or a great coaching staff and a great group of players, they're like heavily influenced, me to improve really steadily. So I was actually really grateful for that break that COVID gave us, because I wouldn't have gotten that experience otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, as you know, you were part of us, the team that created history in Ireland. We finished ninth overall, went toe to toe even with Japan as well, even down to the last quarter. For you, are you happy with how well we did, finishing top 10, finishing ninth? Do you think that was a good finish for us?
Honestly, yes, but at the same time, it's like being there, being on the team. It kind of sucks because like if you were there, like that a lot of the games that we lost were very close. Um, I think we lost to England by like 4 goals or something like that. But like a lot of the games were actually like very close. So for example, Japan, I think we had the lead going up to about 7, 8 minutes left, probably by 2 goals, and then they came back and they beat us by 1 goal, if I remember correctly. And then so like it's like the what do you call it?
Small
Like
margin.
finishing ninth, yes, the small margin between finishing ninth and finishing fourth or fifth, it was exactly that, a small margin. So like if we won those are the games that like we lost by 1 goal, we would have been fourth or fifth in the world, and I can't even imagine like what kind of accolade that would have been, because the fans there, they were going crazy for us, even from the opening day, because like we walked up and the Kenyans and the Ugandans, they were over there dancing and everything, and then like our team was over here, and I was like, we were actually also dancing, because that is Jamaican culture. We're gonna be dancing and stuff. And then I look at my teammate and I'm like, I feel like we should be over there. So like, we asked the coach and he said, yeah man, go ahead. And then that was that. I went over there, and then the entire World Lacrosse body started, surrounding Jamaica, Kenya, and Uganda, and we were all dancing, and it was a whole vibe. Americans jumped in, started dancing. Persons from the what's it called? Netherlands, all about the place. So yeah, I definitely feel like we could have finished like even top four or top five.
Yeah. And when you bear in mind, Sammy, you have yourself, there's Ramesh, Jesse, Finley,
Mm.
and then you look on the girls' side, Ruffles and also Jade as well. Having Jamaican born players go into the States, getting scholarships and competing. Do you feel like pioneers for the sports, like young persons in the islands are looking up to you guys that, okay, if Sammy can do it, then I can do it as well,
Honestly, this is one of the like deeper conversations I have with myself because sometimes as athletes, your mental health or your physical health will dwindle down sometimes. But honestly, like most of the time, I kind of have the guys at home in my head, like as a means of motivation. Because even when I go back down, like when I went back down, when was it? In December, and there was a December camp and everything, December camp slash tryouts, and I was, there. Even when I wasn't playing, like I walked up and I could like feel atmosphere change. Like they knew who I was and everything, and like I didn't know some of them obviously, but they knew exactly who I was. That felt good to know that it can leave an impact, like an indelible mark on the lives of people you haven't even met, you know, because I would have loved to have, such a motivating factor when I was actually down there playing. Because honestly, I didn't really take the sport that serious at first. I was just like, I like the sport. Football was always my main sport, even if I wasn't that good at it, or as good at it. Football was always my main sport, my favorite sport. But I was just playing lacrosse. I wouldn't say to pass the time because I genuinely like I enjoyed playing lacrosse more, but I enjoyed football more on a whole. So like, if I had that motivating push, I would have been even better from those days. But yeah, it feels really good to know that people are in a way like depending on you to do good, especially because like the more we do, is the more attention it um brings to the program on a whole. Because we're gonna get more donations. More persons that want to go down to play are gonna want to go down to play. Um, for example, even when I walk into the airport and stuff, I always try to like have on some kind of Jamaica lacrosse equipment. Even when my teammates would be like, "Yo," they'll be joking, but they'll be like, "Yo, it's rubber lacrosse, not Jamaica lacrosse." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm Jamaican, so I don't care." Like everybody have on like rubber lacrosse gear, and I'd have on my Jamaica lacrosse jacket and everything. Like walking to the airport. When I get my bag, that's not leaving my back every time. Because people stopped me in the airport before and they're like, I didn't know Jamaica had a lacrosse team. I'm like, yeah, and then, that's where small conversations ensue and everything. So, like, honestly, I always feel like a pioneer for the sport. I have two flags on my lacrosse helmet. Um, Biggest of any flag that anybody on the team has, because, like, coach gives some little tiny flags like this size, and then mine is like this. And then I have another one on the front of my helmet. So, like, everywhere I go, I have to just, like, be a pioneer for the sport and be a pioneer for the country as a whole.
Most definitely, man. Quite a story there, Sammy. And remember winter camp, you were there, as you said, for trials. How did you feel when you got, whether it's the phone call, the text message, or email that you'd be on the plane to San Diego and one of only a few domestic-based players getting a chance to represent Jamaica at the highest level?
Well, I can remember it like it was yesterday, actually, because what Coach Wilson did is actually like he introduced it on the spot, or he announced it on the spot. So while we were there trying out and everything, like after the tryouts and basically, I think it was on the last day, and that's when I went. But before that, I was there like helping them coach. I wasn't even like dressed like athletic. I was in like a jeans shorts, um, had on my Crocs and everything, and then I jumped in for one or two drills, But on that last day, I went to actually play and everything, and like coach had like this huddle, so it was everybody sitting down and everything. I was just standing up beside him, myself, Matty Marriott, I think Demar. That's his name. I don't remember right now. But we were there standing up, and then coach just said it like out of the blues. He was like, "Well, you guys, you can applaud him from now because I'm telling you that Sammy is officially part of the team as one of the demons, as well as Matty Murray that was beside me. And then I was like, I saw it coming, obviously, but like for it to be right there, and then everybody started applauding, and clap me and everything. I'd be like, yes, Sammy, you know. So like when I was looking at their faces and everything, and I was trying to like hold the composure, stay humble and everything, but in my head I was like, wow. But the first time I got the official text, like I was going crazy because that was like when they told me I would be part of the preliminary selection for the under-21 team. I think the one for the senior team was obviously more exciting, but I still remember the one from the U21 team that was probably like 2019, yeah, probably around 2019. After I tried out for the team for the 2018 World Championship, in my head I always said I came this close to making it, but everything is for a reason because I probably would not have been as suited, technically to be on that 2018 team, obviously. And, we did a great job at that because we placed 13th in the world. And then every time when somebody asks me, like, how good is Jamaica lacrosse team? I'm like, bro, we placed 13th in our first ever world championship. So, like, that alone should say a lot. So, basically, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. 13th in the world, 9th in the under-21s. The girls finished 28th. So progress all across the board there. Jamaica's highest ranked sports team, higher than the Reggae Boys, higher than Jamaica's basketball team. So that's something that will always be with you as being part of a team that's the highest ranked Jamaican male sports team. And that's something to really reflect upon. And Sammy, finally, when you're bearing in mind, San Diego, Jamaican community in California, out in numbers, looking forward to the summer that lies ahead.
Yes, sir. Definitely looking forward to the summer because next week, next week we'll have the Heritage Cup in Philadelphia. And I told some of my teammates that are close by and they're going to be making a drive. Some are as close as 10 minutes, some are as far as an hour, and they're going to be driving down to watch me play and everything. After the Heritage Cup, training, the real hard time starts because, we start playing a little bit after that. But before that, we have the training camp, which is from like the 14th to the 19th or something like that. And then the competition starts on the 20th. So really looking forward to this summer. Like I've been looking forward to it because it's like how I gauge myself. It's like when I'm at school practicing and everything, it's like I always have like the world championship in mind. Same thing with last year, but this year even more than before. Because like all the drills we do, like even if I don't get a lot of playing time there, I'm like I don't really care because everything I'm doing right now is to improve myself so that I can be the best player I can be for the world championship. Because I rather to play like Messi for my national team than to play like Ronaldo for my school. But at the end of the day, I'm Jamaican. I have to motivate the youths down there. America is all right, they must always have lacrosse, but I want to be one of the persons that, push the sport in Jamaica. So that is my aim right now. And this summer will be a great start to that.
All right, Sammy, thanks very much for your time. Really, really appreciate it. Continue, waving the Jamaican flag high. You are our Usain Bolt, so go out there and continue doing the best for our countrymen. Really appreciate it.
No problem, sir.